Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited today because I'm going to show you how you can give your BMW F25 or F26 a big upgrade and enjoy all the modern features of a media unit totally lag-free and while keeping every single original function of your car. If you follow my installation tutorial closely, you'll be able to install this media unit yourself in under an hour since it's all plug and play. Alright, let's kick things off with a quick unboxing. The package contains two different boxes. In the first one you'll find the screen mount, and in the second box you'll find the main display with all the electrical accessories. Here we have the model QBB-H14NB. Xtrons products are designed in England and manufactured in Shenzhen, China. From my point of view, that's a very good thing. Let's take a look at the screen mount. As you can see, it's packed quite professionally with zero risk of damage during transport. Here is the screen mount. It replaces the car's original screen and secures the new display slightly further forward since it has a 10.25-inch diagonal. The new screen has channel rails that fit exactly onto these locking clips, ensuring a firm attachment. Of course, we also have an installation manual. This diagram is all you need to understand where to plug in the connectors. As I said, everything is plug and play, no cutting wires, no soldering. Let's move on to the screen, which will become the media unit. Here we also have an installation manual mostly covering how to connect your phone with CarPlay or Android Auto and how to use the available functions. And of course, here is the gorgeous 10.25-inch display. Oh god, this thing will look awesome in the car. On the back we have all the ports for electrical connectors and antennas for radio, GPS and 4G. On the top side there's also a micro SIM slot, so you don't have to activate your phone's hotspot to get mobile data. Let's go through the rest of the box contents. We have a pair of tweezers, which will be extremely useful for installation. I will however use a pick tool so you can see how the locking tabs work on each connector. We have the USB cables in case you want to connect a flash drive or use Wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. This is up to personal preference, of course. I won't install them because I already have 128GB of storage and very fast connecting Wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so why would I install USB ports too? Here is the GPS receiver with a FACRA connector. This is super useful if you want to use GPS directly on the Android unit instead of your phone. I really like this because I hate having to enable my phone's location services every time, and of course it also drains battery if I forget to turn it off. Next we have the wiring harness. Even though it looks complicated, it only involves plugging in 3 connectors, 2 quad locks and 1 for power and audio outputs. You'll see how simple it really is. A new thing for me is this buzzer or tweeter meant to output the parking sensor warning sounds. After installing the unit, I realized it wasn't needed because the beeps worked just like before. Probably on some models it is necessary, so it's better to install it from the beginning to avoid surprises. And the last piece is the 4G antenna, also with adhesive tape. As you'll notice, all these accessories integrate perfectly in the BMW X3 F25 and X4 F26 since you have great spots to hide the antennas without running cables all the way up to the A-pillar. At this moment you can buy the unit for $540 directly from the Xtrons website, but with my discount code DIYWorkshop10, also mentioned in the description together with the website link, you get 10% off the first 20 orders for any product on the site. So hurry up and grab the media unit dedicated to your car. Also, the QBB media units fit a lot of other BMW models. Let's move on to the installation. We'll use a plastic trim removal tool to remove this trim with the air vents and the start-stop button. In my opinion, BMW has one of the simplest and most DIY-friendly mounting systems. On the side we have 2 connectors to remove from the vent area and 1 from the start button. The start button connector has 2 locking tabs on the side which you have to press at the same time before pulling the connector out. The other one comes out without pressing anything. For the white connector, you'll need to take it out of its slot because the locking tab is on the opposite side. Use a sharp tool just like in the video. The tweezers that come with the unit are perfect for these locking tabs. I'll start with the two screws that secure the original display, for which you need a T20 bit. In fact, all the screws are identical except for the screws that hold the display, which are slightly shorter. Keep them separate. Here's the first one, and now the second. Next, we need to remove 5 screws from the climate control unit, 3 at the top and 2 at the bottom. This small cover comes off easily, and underneath you'll find the 2 bottom screws. The other screws next to them are for the media unit. We'll get to those shortly. Now we can remove the climate control unit, which has only 2 connectors at the back. They're very easy to remove. Press this locking tab with your finger and just pull the lever back. To fully release it, push the lever all the way down to horizontal. And that's it, the climate unit is out. The media unit is also secured with 4 screws. We can now pull it out. I placed a cloth underneath to avoid scratching anything. I'll try to give you the best angle so you can clearly see how to remove the old quad lock connector and plug in the new wiring harness. Let me first remove it and show you the locking system. On the sides there are 2 locking tabs that need to be pressed simultaneously, and then you pull the lever. Now let's remove the screen as well, since we're already dealing with connectors. Here we have a single LVDS cable. It has a small locking tab that you press with your finger while pulling. A little wiggle, and it's out. Here's a closer look at the locking tab. On the F25 and F26, there's a fantastic space to hide the GPS receiver, the 4G receiver, and even the buzzer. Let me show exactly where. You can clearly see the clips now, so you know exactly where to insert the tool. Start with the front part and then pull the grill towards you. Under the grill there is a small cover held in place by 4 screws. I removed it, and now we have plenty of space for the accessories. The receivers will have maximum signal here since there's no metal blocking them. I'll start with the GPS antenna cable. You can guide it through this right hand side. Then pull the excess cable until the receiver fits into the space under the cover. Remove the protective film and stick the GPS receiver firmly. Let's install the 4G receiver. I'll attach it first to the small cover right in the center because the edge has a gasket that seals the ventilation system. I routed the cable the same way as the GPS. And here it is, neatly mounted on the cover. All that's left is the buzzer, which I'll place opposite the GPS receiver. I tied the excess cables together to keep things tidy. Now let's take a closer look at the wiring harness. I'll use some electrical tape to secure this bundle of wires for an aftermarket reversing camera. That way it will be easier to route upwards. Next we return to the original quad lock connector because we need to remove the fiber optic cable and move it to the harness connector. All you need to do is lift the locking tab with the tweezers and then pull the connector out. Move it into the exact same corner position on the new connector. The opposite side connects to the original quad lock. Now we can connect the quad lock with the fiber optic installed, replacing the original connector. The lever on this aftermarket quad lock is released by lifting the middle section. You'll hear a distinct click when it locks into place. Let's route the connector for the aftermarket unit. Start behind the original media unit and bring it forward through the gap where the climate control cables come through. That's as much as you can pull because it gets blocked at the CAN bus module. Now we bring the connector through the air vent area up to the display zone. At this point, I'll also connect the buzzer so I won't forget it later. Here's an extremely important tip for sliding the original media unit back quickly. It's hard to film because space is very tight and all the cables would confuse you. The CAN bus must be routed through the back on the right hand side, while the coupling between the original quad lock and the aftermarket quad lock must end up at the back left as low as possible so the unit can slide in smoothly. From here on I will speed things up because it's really straightforward. I've already screwed the original unit back in. I reattached the top cover and clipped the grille back. I mounted the screen bracket in place and secured it with 2 screws. I plugged in the climate control connectors and fixed the unit with screws. Now I'm connecting the receivers and cables to the screen, starting with the longest one. First the FACRA connector from the GPS receiver, then the 4G receiver, the LVDS cable, and finally the main connector. I didn't install the USB ports since I don't need them. You can decide depending on your needs. The last piece of the puzzle is the trim with the air vents. And we are ready to power on the aftermarket unit. The joystick works perfectly. And now I'll let you watch several functions in real time, not fast forwarded like in other video reviews that try to make the system look faster than it really is. Some segments have no audio to avoid copyright issues.
Time is barely on our side.
Alright friends, that's it for today's review. As you've seen, this Xtrons media unit gives your BMW F25 or F26 a massive upgrade with a gorgeous 10.25-inch display, wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, 4G connectivity, and super fast performance. But the real game changer is the integration. You keep every single original function of your car, from iDrive to parking sensors and OEM menus, and even the built-in BMW microphone system. Unlike many other aftermarket units that come with a cheap external mic that sounds terrible, this one lets you keep the crystal clear OEM communication system. That's what I really love most about this unit, the perfect balance between OEM integration and modern features. It honestly feels like your BMW just jumped 10 years ahead in technology without losing its factory identity. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and check the description for the website link and a 10% discount code because the DIY workshop saves you money. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.